decided you want to.
क्या कर सकते हैं?
Chip and Gene, Friday night. Commence. Go for it, boys.
It's Ben and Sim today. Ben and Sim, that's your new name. Sim. Simmer. Who's got the keys to your Beamer? And you drive a Beamer too, aren't you? Oh.
It's the new
Yeah,
Friday
me?
show, the Ben and Sim. Welcome to BNR, to another episode of, it's not Transfer Daily, I don't know what we call the evening show, the Gap Sharp, Catch Up, call it what you like. If I'm honest, I expected 3 of us today. I didn't know Chip. He likes to surprise us, but it's a nice surprise, I must say. He's at work, so he'll be tame. He'll be on his best behavior.
No tameness today. Mariachi tonight. Everyone's out of the office today. I'm working overtime. It's mariachi today. Marasi show from me. Marasi from me.
No. Please. There's a lot of serious talk to go through. But it's the quiet period. If you were expecting Liverpool to start sending faxes through with the 130, 140, 150 million bids, maybe you were getting a bit too excited today. You have to play the patience game. Liverpool are monitoring. Liverpool are waiting to pounce. And if it has to be a bit of a lull period in order to make sure they get their biggest prize this summer, then so be it. We're going to discuss why the silence, why the delay, what Liverpool need to do, who makes the first move, who needs to get the replacement, why do Liverpool find themselves in this position, and why do Newcastle find themselves in a position where they have to scurry around Europe in looking for a replacement in Alexander Isak? Was it Ekitike? Did they show their hand too early? All that to break down. Take a seat, get your cuppa like me. I've been going for a cuppa these days, even though it's really warm. But it's actually, it's about 50-50. 50-50. But some Liverpool fans might say Alexander Isak is still 50-50. But I'm a lot more optimistic tonight. We'll have a bit of an update as well as to who I've been talking to regarding the deal. That's all to come later. But as ever, you smash a like, you subscribe to the channel, head over to BNR Ultra and become a BNR member. Whilst you're doing that, and you know what? We've actually turned off because the chat was going crazy for the last 3-4 days and I couldn't work it out. And now if you want to put a comment up, you have to subscribe to the channel. So that is a little condition. If you're watching on your show, I realize you need to close the chat, you smash a like, and then you come back to the chat. So please, this is why people are becoming a bit lazy. They just can't be bothered to close the chat. You won't miss anything. It takes 2 seconds. Close the chat for a second, smash the like, and then relax and watch the rest of the show. And then you can engage with us as much as you like. I'll go around the table whilst everyone is doing that. Gene, what's going on, man? That orange top, it looks like you've just been released from Guantanamo Bay. But anyway, how are you apart from your top?
I'm all right, man. I'm good. As it was just a few days, we have to just take it easy, relaxed, patience, and I'm sure everything will come in fruition. We just got to relax, man. And in terms of the football front, and from looking forward to tomorrow's game, I'm really looking forward to it. Hopefully we'll see Verts in action for the first time. But all in all, I am good.
Ben, what's going on? I don't even need to ask you now, Ben. 10:30 is our time. You're always on the show. How are you, my friend?
I'm good, mate. Yeah, I'm really good. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Nice to see you all. Friday night. Happy weekend. Exactly as the show says, Asim. Dominoes, isn't it? And you know the way you watch those amazing shows where all the dominoes just absolutely fly and change colours and it's spectacular. But for hours and hours and hours and days and days and days, there's somebody intricately lining those dominoes up and standing them up. And that's what's happening in the background, I think, at the moment, isn't it? All the ducks are being lined up and hopefully, fingers crossed, they'll all get pushed over at once and it'll all happen fairly quickly, I hope.
Fairly quickly. Avi, the ducks are being lined up.
Had a bit of duck actually on Wednesday in a Chinese restaurant. It was very nice.
Nice.
It was very nice. It was very nice. The crackling of the duck's very nice if it's crispy. Anji, kya story? It's all good. Asim, Newcastle, I think will be scrambling now to look for a couple of forwards. Plenty of names about, plenty of names being bandied about in the media. But we do expect this Liverpool to push through with this Isak deal. Now that Isak has shown his cards, Newcastle will try to make a fist of it according to the media and make sure that the fans are appeased and they don't want to fold as easily as they've done previously with some of the forwards that have left that club over the last 15, 20 years. So they'll definitely want to make put up a bit of a front, but I think we'll get this deal done sooner rather than later, Asim. So all excited, and of course the excitement over Hugo Ekitike already. I saw bits of the press conference today. I like the kid. I like the kid a lot, Asim. I think he could turn out to be a very special talent and a special player for this football club.
100%. 100%. I want to go to Ben. Ben, I feel like the more I think about this situation, I think Liverpool realized that, you know what, that Newcastle really need to sell Alexander Isak. The official line was 200 million. Before that, he's indispensable. He's untouchable and all that sort of stuff. But Liverpool knew that situation. Liverpool are very shrewd. Now, they might not have access to the accounts, but they have access to a lot of noise and a lot of clubs. And Newcastle will know the state of Liverpool. It's if you're in that industry, you're working alongside it, both clubs will have information on each other. But Liverpool have control. That is the word that Liverpool have. They are strengthening from a position of strength and power. But I feel like the moment Newcastle went for Hugo Ekitike, Liverpool knew that this nonsense about playing 4-4-2 and playing together was a load of rubbish, and it was the official line from their journalists. And Liverpool knew in the moment they've gone for him, they had a chance, not with Hugo Ekitike, but Alexander Isak.
Yeah, it's a really good point. As I say, I said it the other night. I think Ekitike was now our number one target. That they thought that was gettable right the way through the summer window, and they basically were going to get him at some point, but they've probably just saw that Newcastle were trying to get him and thought, no, this is our time to strike and strike while the iron's hot. But with regards to Isak, the big thing for me now, I think was really interesting that was said. I forget who it was, said it the other night. The big thing that makes it pretty much nailed for me now is that I don't think Liverpool would encourage Isak, because that's what's happened. They wouldn't convince Isak and his team to go public on his desire to leave if they weren't going to do their bit of the story, because that would, if then we walked away from the deal or it wasn't going to happen, etc., it hangs Isak out to dry, and the optics don't look good for other top players in Europe. That these conversations, we're not stupid. These conversations are happening behind closed doors, probably between all three parties here, Newcastle, Liverpool, and Isak's team. And everybody they've all got skin in the game. They all want to come out of it looking like it's the right thing for them. Newcastle want to save face. They want to get players in. They want to look like they've done this at the very last resort. Liverpool want to look like they've got the best player and the best deal. And Isak wants to obviously get his pay rise and be playing for the champions with a chance to win the Champions League. So everyone's got their own agendas. So it makes sense to be able to put this together as best as possible behind closed doors. And I think what's playing out in the media now is pretty much planned.
Yeah, 100%. Avi, Newcastle. Let me just put yourselves in Newcastle's perspective, in Newcastle's shoes for a second. Like, I just keep on thinking that they've let their ego, they've let their pride come in the way, and now there's a lot of talk about their chairman from Saudi Arabia. I'm not going to pretend to or try to pronounce his name, Al Rehan or something like that.
El Rumayyan.
Something like that. Go on, Avi lad.
Jim.
And that's what I feel. Now, it looks like they're bringing in a new sporting director as well, and there's someone else that will be walking in upstairs as well to help with. But it just feels like, although Newcastle have got some good deals in the last 2-3 years, you have to give them credit where it's due. Isak, Tonali, Gumaresh, Gordon. But it feels like right now with the whole, faffing around of the Ashton leaving and Paul Mitchell faffing around.
The guy before Paul Mitchell as well, the one who went to United, Dean Ashton, wasn't it? Dean
Ashworth.
Ashton, Ashworth, Dean Ashworth.
Ashworth, yeah.
And then he's been let
One
go.
who
of
went to United, yeah.
Yeah.
He's been let go. It feels like Avi, all of a sudden, I'm talking about their deals, but upstairs, it's a mess at the moment. It feels like Eddie Howe's been running that club, and this is reflecting in their transfer window at the moment.
Seems like when we were scrambling for a DOF and we had to get in George Shamatke in that summer, and we were scrambling to do deals and the Caicedo and the Lavia debacle that went on, but yet we still brought in the Endo, the Gravenbergs, McAllister, the Sabossalai. So it reminds me a little bit of that. They are scrambling, and I think this all happened since Amanda Staveley left the club, because she seemed very structured and she had been like long yearned for a club. And she was once linked with Liverpool as well for a takeover when DIC were in the picture. So she always wanted to own a football club or be part of a structure involving a Premier League club. She came to Newcastle, the takeover happens, and then she walks off. And then I know they had Dean Ashworth, he's settled and they bought good players. He went to United, in a short stint at United. He gets let go. Paul Mitchell, I think, comes in, hasn't really worked out there. Now you got the likes of Gabby Logan, Alan Shearer making a play for Isak to stay. It's becoming a bit of a shit show at Newcastle. And, I've always had respect for that football club. I still do have respect for that football club. Their fan base is incredible. They've always needed that luck. They won the League Cup, but the way they run off the pitch, it is a bit of a shit show. But it honestly reminds me of how we were ran for a period of 8-9 months when we had Shamatke, Jurgen Klopp, and there were rumors that Jurgen Klopp wanted full control. Hence, Edwards had gone the year previous. Then Ward had come in for 6 months, and he was sort of leaving. So yeah, it's got signs of that. So the quicker that they sort out upstairs, the better for Newcastle, because you do not want to be scrambling the last few days of the transfer market looking for players, because that's when clubs are going to put upsurge on their prices for their players that the current clubs.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Hello.
He's had some issues. He's got some issues.
Gene, what do you think? Gene, what do you think of the situation at Newcastle? Because I've just talked about the changes.
Yeah.
And Eddie Howe, it does seem that he's, and he's still a young, very relatively young manager. And there's pressure on him as well, the way he's had to conduct himself, do these Isak questions. And then the players yesterday, Dan Burn or Bruno Gomes saying that, the players, he's a Newcastle player, there's nothing wrong. I don't think publicly they should have come out and said that. I think they could have avoided the media if they had a chance. But what do you think of this sort of situation that's evolving now with Isak? Surely they don't want to linger this too long, Gene, because then it becomes detrimental, and then they need to shop themselves. They need to look for players themselves and replacements.
Yeah, look, in terms of Eddie Howe, Avi, I mentioned in a couple of shows ago, I kind of feel sorry for him. He lost the previous owners. Amanda Staveley, you mentioned, she left. Then the sporting director left. He's managing 2 roles right now, and it doesn't make sense as to it's hard on the lad, and I do feel sorry for him. But this is when you're at a big club, these things happen. You have to be big enough to deal with this type of stuff. And I always classify Newcastle as a big club. They're not a small club. They're not Liverpool level, but they're still a big club. But in terms of Alexander Isak, Avi, it was meant to play out this way. You might mention the Gabby Logan coming out. I found that cringe. I saw what's his name? Bruno Guimaraes into his interview. You can't really escape from doing interviews because they've gone on a pre-season tour. They're gonna have to speak to the media. They're gonna have to speak to people somehow. Otherwise, what's the point you going on tour? There was always going to be questions asked regarding him, and
saying that the player was in. Dan Burn came out and said the player's injured. He's training he's got his own sort of training session happening back home. That's bullshit. We know that's bullshit. The players obviously said...
You come out and say that though, can you?
No, all they could have said is, look, we just want the player to stay at Newcastle. He's an important player for the new season. We hope that he'll be with us.
Puts him in a difficult position, doesn't it?
It is. And I'm sure it's difficult when, this hairline fracture in the back that Coutinho had, that we were covering his arse. It has come... It's bitten us in the arse as well in the past. But, they could have just said, look, we just hope the player's with us at the club. First game of the season, we are expecting Isak to be with us, with the squad. Instead of saying, oh, he's injured, it's that for enough.
They just told you but they're gonna toe
The
the
line, yeah.
line on this, and that's exactly what they've done. You know, the player's injured. Newcastle have still come out and said he's not for sale, so they can't exactly say, oh, he wants to leave when Newcastle is saying he's not for sale. So it doesn't make sense. They don't want to play their, show their cards either. Newcastle don't want to show their cards, and all of this, what's happened, especially over the last few days. We're Liverpool fans, we have to show some patience. We have to show some patience. We have to let it play the way it's meant to play out. Because I read the Paul Joyce article. I'm sure Asim will speak about it as well. And what are Liverpool fans expecting him to come out and say? There's a certain way a deal is carried out, a certain way a deal is played out, and this is how this is going to play out. If you're expecting 130 million here, there you go. Newcastle's accept the deal, in a week later he's at Liverpool. No chance. It's not going to play out that way. It was never supposed to play out that way. And but the encouraging sign is Šeško. The Newcastle are making inroads in regards to Šeško. They've been in conversations. And I think that is what the biggest, if it's a sign is that they're going to buy Šeško, because they ain't playing 4-4-2. I guarantee you that.
Yeah, they need deals over the line, don't they?
Their official line of Isak is not for sale is basically saying, let us sort out a striker, whether it's Openda, whether it's Visser, whether it's...
But Asim, Callum Wilson went too. Remember that, guys? They need two, not one. They need two forwards.
Imagine Newcastle let their prized asset leave, and they've got 150 million pounds, for argument's sake, in their bank account, and they've only got one young striker. What's his name? Sulo? What's his name?
Sula. Yeah, that's it. Sula.
He's like 18, isn't he?
Yeah, exactly.
He didn't kick a ball out last season, did he?
He'll be the only striker at the club. So that is a massive, massive tax. I think Newcastle, and I think Alexander Isak, the more I think about it, and it's touching what I said earlier during my introduction, lads, that I think Newcastle, Alexander Isak, was kicking up a fuss a long time ago, and it's only come out now with an official injury, because he had to make the stance. And behind the scenes, when they were having negotiations behind the scenes over the last 2-3 weeks. I think Alexander Isak was telling him that, and it's very, very telling that Eddie Howe was making similar statements in his quotations at the press conference. And it'd be interesting to see what he says tomorrow as well, a week later, after those initial comments. But if you go back to those initial comments, he goes, yes, I'm confident he'll tour. He has to say that. But he was also protecting his player, where it's a short career and all those type of words. And I think that is time, keep him 100%. But I think those are the things that he's been told by Alexander Isak over the last 2-3 weeks, Ben. And Alexander Isak's representatives, where he knows, we've been talking about this now or never term, Liverpool have to do it. And I think Alexander Isak knows, not because of other clubs and what positions they are in, and there's a lot of number 9s that will be going to big clubs, and he might lose his opportunity, especially when it comes to in the Premier League. But I think just in isolation, just his age, he's turning 26 soon. He's 20, and he'll be 27 come next summer. And I think he just fears that, I've got a short career, and I go back. And I think this is the type of stuff that he is telling his manager. And I think the manager sympathizes with the player's situation. And more so, why? Is because I think he feels really, really frustrated in how Newcastle's transfer window is going. They were expected to bring 3-4 players in by now. And that's not just my opinion. That's a fact, because they've lost out. They've lost out on James Trafford today as well. And only the guy that's come through the Newcastle doors is a decent signing in Elanga. But the Eddie Howe, there was an admission from Eddie Howe last week that it's been a really frustrating window. But I think this story just came out 2-3 weeks later. And the moment I go back to that moment, the moment they accepted that has to be, and Junior's watching, that they would rather strengthen from a position of power and hold the cards. And that word again, control, is bringing by Ekitike in his replacement and then letting Isak go. But now they've lost that opportunity. They've lost that chance to do that. And now Wilson has gone. If they let Isak go, all of a sudden, yes, you've got 15, 20 million pound extra from Liverpool, but then you have to pay the tax at the other end as well for the likes of Sesko and Visser and whoever you go for. So it's a fascinating situation. It all depends on who blinks first. But Liverpool are in the driving seat. No, make no mistake about it.
As a question to you,
Of course.
do you think Newcastle get in a forward first before they agree a deal with us?
Yes. I think yeah. I think even the news might not even come out that Liverpool may have made an initial bid. I think that behind the scenes, Liverpool and Newcastle will work something out. Liverpool, the moment they get the encouragement, they've got the encouragement and they've got what they wanted from the player. And I think there's an acceptance from Newcastle that Eddie Howe also doesn't want to keep an unhappy player at the club. And add the frustration to what's going on in their transfer window. Every single journalist from the up north, every single Newcastle fan will tell you that it's been a disaster, or even though they've got Elanga through this summer. And now is the moment that they're really, really staring in, with reality, staring their faces that, you know what, we just might have to sell our prize asset, because it's not all about the 140, 150 million pounds. The way the PSR works is they'll probably be able to spend 200-300 million just because it's the wage structure and the book value.
It's offsetting one.
Yes. I'm not into the finance side of it, but it's not just bringing in 150 million pounds and spending the 150 million pounds as well. So I think
how long do you think?
Yeah.
How long has he been asking for this 300k? Do you think?
I think since they had that discussion,
do you think deep down Newcastle knew that they were losing Isak all summer?
If you listen to the Newcastle fans, and there's a few in the chat, and they'll probably inform us better on the situation. Quite a few fans have been saying that he did show that he was pissed off at some parts of last season. In terms of form, I think it was the last 2 months that he did really show, some really good form. But apparently his body language in some of the months last season wasn't great. And maybe that's when Newcastle informed him, saying, you know what, whoever promised you this new contract extension, we are sorry, because we cannot afford it. And Paul Mitchell came in and said, you know what, the guys who promised you didn't give a shit. And although they left against their wishes, I'm now at the helm and I need to make a business decision that you've got 3 or 4 years left on your contract. And it doesn't make sense for you to increase a contract, because where we're at in terms of the finance situation is just going to screw us over. And that pissed him off. And I think that conversation took place last season.
I think
you're just naive enough. Sorry, I've gone.
In footballing world, especially when it comes to transfers or player contracts, assurances are always made. But if there's been a heavy change, like a manager has left or has been sacked, those assurances obviously don't have that power that they once did later on down the line. So if he was promised, say, by Dean Ashworth, saying that, you'll get, we'll pay you 250 to 300k, but then obviously he's gone to United and they've paid 15 million for his services, and Paul Mitchell comes in and says, listen, well, these are directions that I've been told that we're taking, and you're not fitting into this wage structure, because no one is fitting in. None of the current playing staff is fitting into this wage structure of 250 to 300. Then I don't know what to tell you. Maybe we can talk at the end of the season. He's obviously been, he feels as if he's been dismissed there and thinking, listen, why should I stay then? I can play at a higher level, which he can, because if Man City would have been up there if they haven't had Haaland. Arsenal, I'm sure, would have loved Isak. I think Isak has told Newcastle, and I think we all are in agreement that he's told him for a long time. Not a long time, but maybe in the last few weeks, he only wants Liverpool Football Club.
And Avi,
interesting.
What the funny thing is, and what makes it complete sense. And I watched that 20-minute, I think it was around 20-minute video from Craig Hope today, earlier in the morning, regarding the situation at Newcastle and how everything unfolded. It was interesting because he actually went into, and you took it back as to where the issue actually started. Obviously, with the contract issue, it came to the summer. He was promised, it didn't happen. Then you see the likes of Anthony Gordon, who nearly got his dream move, didn't happen. Got a contract worth 160 or 70 million pounds. 160, 70 million thousand pounds per week. And he's probably sat there thinking, what the hell's bloody going on here? Yeah, I was promised a contract. I didn't get it. From a Newcastle perspective, I get it. They couldn't give him the £300 because they're not in a position to give it. And if you're getting yourselves in that position, then both parties are sort of right. He was promised, he didn't get it. Newcastle can't do it because it's unsustainable for them to do it. But then you have to come to an agreement, and that's where we're at this season. He gave you another year. He played through that year on the same contract. He won you a trophy. He got you top 4. And if the lad wants to move on, it's understandable. Newcastle understand. He was promised previously. He didn't get his promise. Fair play. He stayed a year, won us a trophy, got us top 4. If the guy wants to go now, okay, but we'll get the money. As long as they get a fee which makes sense for both parties, then I shouldn't really see a big problem. I get the Newcastle fans are going to be in uproar regarding all of this. End of the day, any club loses their prized asset, you're going to be peed off. It's happened to us previously many times, and it hurt. They're going through the same motions, but we've been here before. We know how this plays out. All this Sesco, all this talk is just prolonging, making it easy for the fans. Like when it actually happens, it's slightly easier for them. That, you know what, they've got a player in, another player's coming. And I think from a Liverpool perspective, I've always maintained, I think Liverpool need one out the door. Right, we at Darwin or Diaz, probably Diaz. I thought a bid would have come in by now, but it's just
and it's ironic about Diaz what you just say there, Sheen, because we appear to have made Diaz promises and retracted on them. So we've obviously maybe said we'll give you a new deal to him and his team, and then we've gone back on it and said actually we're not going to give you the new deal. And basically telling them we're not going to give you a new deal, so either we'll keep you and you can go on a free, or you can go this summer, knowing full well that we'll get 60-odd million back.
Yeah, both we understand that he wants to leave because he didn't get his contract. Fair play. If you want to go, no, but we still want the fee that you're worth. We're not going to let you go. And I understand if Newcastle want and they want 130 plus million pound for Alexander Isak, we can't begrudge them. Because he's got 3 years left on his contract. They're in the Champions League, so you can't begrudge them. We're doing exactly the same with Luis Diaz. We're saying to Bayern Munich, if you really want this player, we believe he's worth 80 million euros. We were saying 100 million euros a couple of weeks ago. So, and obviously it's come down. We know we're not going to get that, but we're going to have to pay Bayern are going to have to pay around the 65, 70 million pound mark to get their player. It's the same with us. If you want that player with 3 years left on his contract, you're going to have to pay the dollar that they asked for.
And Ben, what's so beautiful about this particular transaction, this situation is we're not panicking here. No. We're not the club. We're not here panicking last day of the season when we were scrambling for Andy Carroll. We're not the ones who are panicking here. Newcastle will be. The more they dig their heels in, the more they'll be scrambling, because they will know at the back of their heads, if we do this deal late, then any player that we're going for, whether it's Wisa or whether they don't get Sesko, whether it's Patrick Schick from Leverkusen or Lautaro Martinez, whoever it is, whichever forward that they're going for, they're going to put their price up by another 10, 15 million, because they know people will know Newcastle have got the cash. They know they've got the,
absolutely.
They've got the cash.
That's why they don't want to do this deal before they've got the players in, isn't it? And the fact that we've got Ekitike means that we are, as you say, are comfortable. Obviously, we want more bodies in, and I think we could probably pivot to another 1 or 2 at the end of the window if Isak is completely off the table. But I think they're confident enough that he's absolutely always been on the table.
Yeah. And like, we're the prime negotiators in this deal. They aren't this time around.
Yeah, 100%. Absolutely. Yeah.
Let's go to.
He's just dropped the bomber.
What's the bomber?
He said Isak's putting a formal transfer request in.
A formal transfer request.
The old school formal one. Is that the one where you forfeit, like your what's called? You forfeit your bonuses or all that palaver.
With respect to Indy, look, he's the GOAT and all of that. But what's a formal written lawyer transfer request? I don't get it, Avi. Avi, you're in this lawyer game. You know better than me.
Indy's a unique one. He's a good. He's a good one. He's a good apple. He's one of the only ITKs actually that I've got respect for. Because you know what? The guy over the last 10 years, you would say, he's played the game perfectly.
He has.
You know, and fair play to him.
And the crazy thing is, everybody loves him, Avi, man. So, fair play to him. Fair play.
Yeah.
Asim,
Okay.
The fact that he's
Yes.
got no affiliation to anyone, it probably helps him as well, doesn't it? Which is great.
yeah.
Big
Apart from
up indeed.
KFC, obviously.
Well, memberships. The Cop Zone gifted
Wow.
gifted 5
He
born and
gifted
red
5
memberships.
born and red memberships for 1
to
month
people on the chat. Yeah.
on the chat.
How does that work? I don't
So you
even know
just
about
go there,
this.
give 5.
He doesn't know nothing. Honestly.
Asim, come on, man. He gifted 5 born and red memberships. Basically, he's given 5 randomers a
Selection,
membership
can you
for the whole for the month.
Shut up, man.
Selection,
The guy
can you
just
can you
gifted
can
5.
you,
You
can,
just
can you
wanna-
become member as well? Selection.
Are you the host today?
I'm telling
Shut
Selection to become member. Hold on.
No.
Selection.
No,
Selection,
it's-
become a member.
It's about the
Selection,
Cop
become a
Zone.
member. Selection,
about the
become a
Cop Zone.
member. Selection, become a member. Done. You do whatever you want.
Thank you very much. If you want to
Yeah.
take control, like
But that means
have
you
some
don't even
courage.
know. You don't
Have
even
some
know what you're
courage
reading. You don't
and
even understand what you're reading, though. You don't
have
understand
some
what you're reading.
courage and host
Cop
the show.
Zone. Cop
Grow
Zone.
some balls.
Cop Zone,
Grow
whether
some
it's the channel,
balls. Grow some balls.
whether Cop
Grow
Zone is a
some balls
channel,
and host the
whether
show.
Cop Zone is a channel
Grow
or
some
not,
balls.
go and follow
and
them. Go
host
and
the
subscribe to Cop Zone. He's gifted 5 born and red memberships.
It's
He
not
gets to
Coption. It's
he
not
gets to
Coption.
choose.
It's
He
Cop
gets to
Zone.
choose. He gets to
not-
choose who
okay.
he's giving it out to.
There's
It's
no
not
there's no
option.
problem with the sound here, people.
Yeah,
It's
but-
okay.
It's
He
not
doesn't even
Coption.
understand what he's saying. He doesn't even understand what he's reading.
It's not
Now,
Coption.
carry on. Carry on.
Look, I carry you. Just get used to it. I've been carrying you all
Hurry up.
summer, so just stay in your lane here.
Hurry
now.
up. Hurry up.
The Cop Zone. Look, tell me, Gene, what does this mean? I don't know.
He gave out
Dean,
5
explain.
memberships to people. Yeah, he gave out 5 memberships to people for 1 month. So he's paid for 5 memberships to people that he's chosen. So fair play to him,
He's chosen. Wow.
Yeah.
What a
I think
gesture.
there's a feat. I'm sure there's a
What a
way
gesture.
that you just randomly gift them.
This
to
is what I'm saying. You can
people as
random-
Thank you
I
very
can
much,
random.
Tola Clips. He got the membership. He got gifted it as well by Cop Zone. I must study some things.
Yeah, stop swearing. Yeah, look at your dirty mouth, man.
I learned from you. These are the words that you've sent me on a
No.
voice note, okay?
Anyway,
No.
carry
The
on.
chat are
Bro,
telling
don't
us
lie.
anyway. They
Don't
know
lie.
the score.
No, I think that deserves a big shout out. That what a gesture that is, man.
Nice.
I think Cop Zone is a member. I think he became a member. He tweeted me about 2-3 weeks ago. I forgot his name. I'm so sorry. But honestly, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I didn't even think that was.
Do they
possible.
run a channel themselves, Asim?
I don't know. Well, he's got like a little play button on the Cop Zone. If it is, whack it in your search tool on YouTube.
Give them
and
a
go
like
give
and
them
subscribe,
guys
yeah.
a massive subscribe on, and
I'll
go
quickly
like
try and
every
find the
single
channel and I'll
And
drop
if you
it
ever
in the
need,
chat
if you ever
for
need
you.
someone on your show, Asim's always available for his time. Thank you.
100%. I never think I'm too big for a channel. I'm too big for a call-in show. Oh, Asim, I can't be asked, man. It takes 2-3 hours. I can't be asked people coming in.
That's
you know
right.
what?
I answered that.
Always never forget your roots. Where we were. You put a message up when 5 people used to watch us, and
Ben,
now
well,
1,500
Ben,
people.
Ben,
Whether
Ben,
it's
I
5
can-
or 1,500,
I can
those
confirm
same people
that the
get the
Cop
same
Zone-
respect.
Ben, may I
Never
explain?
forget your roots, Putter.
Asim,
Never
can I
forget
explain?
your roots.
May I explain?
You can explain.
Please do.
Ben, when I joined this illustrious channel, like I
Yeah.
said, and I tweeted as well, we didn't have any subscribers. The very first show I did, I was on it with the debut show. It's just the 3 of us, front 3, right? Gina already had made it clear to me. He goes, Avi, you have the luxury and the freedom whenever you give us the time, and we only expect you to come on once a week. Once a week. That was my contract with them. Once a week.
Contract.
How many shows have I done?
Contract.
How many shows have I done?
What
I
did
do
I
2,
say
3.
last night?
He's
does
going
what he
nowhere. He's still got
wants.
3 years
He
left.
does
on
what
his
he
deal.
wants. Chip is here. He does what he wants. That's what we do. We do what we want on this channel. But then,
That's completely different. What's that got to do with the price of bread?
I have the freedom to do what
Avi,
show I do.
listen, Avi, you have the keys to this channel. You do what you want.
No. Ben, he was
You have
talking
the
about
keys,
his
bro.
loyalty.
You have the
Asim,
keys.
What
Asim,
did I-
Mafi mangta hu. Mafi mangta.
No.
Okay, that's done. It's such a
Wait,
game.
listen. Wait, you've touched my feet
No.
Anfield anyway.
Hath jorda hu.
Avi, I go, you've touched my feet outside Anfield anyway.
Well,
That's
I
how
can
much is it?
confirm.
That's how much is it
So
have
bad,
you?
so bad. And what did I
I can
do? I
confirm
said, what
that
the hell are you
Cop
doing?
Zone.
Didn't I do
Cop
that?
Zone have only got 6 subscribers, so they are only at the beginning of their
You know
journey.
what?
So
I'm going to go over
special
this
like-
now.
We will support them, and if they ever want to come on, I'll do a show with them as well. Cop Zone for doing what you did today, 5 memberships. You didn't need to, but that's a great gesture and really appreciative. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I'll copy the link into the chat, guys.
Please, Ben, please. We've had a few other members as well. Thomas Alrian. Thank you so much, Thomas, for becoming a member. Big up. Just message me on X and I'll send you the WhatsApp link as well. Dylan Mella, thank you so much. I don't know if
Dylan Korea. Dylan, man. What's Dylan? What's Dylan, though, Gene? It's Dylan.
Have you go for him?
You're all right, Asim.
Have you have permission to
And
go
I
for
know
him?
he has.
read the name wrong, for
I
fuck's
know
sake.
he has. I know he hasn't got dyslexia, so I know he can read. That's Dylan Miller.
Dylan. Hey, dickhead.
Yeah,
What do you
Dylan.
tell?
Dylan, I'm
I
so
say, I'm
sorry.
bad.
I'm so sorry.
Right,
I'm
I'm
so
bad,
sorry.
but you took the piss with that one.
Dylan. Dylan, I'm so
Oh,
sorry.
dear.
I'm so sorry.
Listen, is Danny a United fan? Your friend?
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is.
All right. Just
Let me
for
say
Danny,
thank you
just
to
for
Dylan, man.
just for Danny, just
I
for
just
Danny,
butchered his name. and
just-
he's the
just-
courtesy to
just-
fucking
I
say
think he
thank
should just be called
just
Dylan
for
from now
Danny,
on.
just
to
for
be
Danny,
fair.
I want to say, kya kar sakte hain, kya kar sakte hain.
Let's go back to Dylan. Dylan, hands up. So sorry, I butchered your name, mate. I actually messaged him as well on Twitter, and I gave his. He's already in the WhatsApp group as well. So anyway, let me read what I've been talking about.
Is this an exclusive?
Sorry.
Is this an exclusive?
Look, we share what we get. It's not an exclusive. They don't. You just whatever you want to make of it. That's up to you. Let me go. And I promised the ultras that I'll read it out. And I was just having a conversation with someone who I speak to. And then we were discussing the Gordon and Isak situation. So I'm just going to read you some of the messages that he sent me. And bear in mind what I've been saying. Every single time I message these guys who are close to the club, they have been very, very, very coy. Very coy. And the guys who chat to me privately, I've been saying the same thing. And on the Ultras WhatsApp group as well. But I did also say for me to get this was a miracle. The Verts deal was very, very similar as well. And then I asked him, how you feeling? And then he replied, yeah, I'm coming round to that way of thinking. But until they make a clear decision, it's kind of in a limbo. Eddie Howe, I think, will want the money, in my opinion. Beginning to think this summer, although some agents think he won't. This is talking about Isak now. Eddie Howe wanted to sell Gordon to us last season. Be worth the pain because we won't sign anyone for a bit. That's a squad set for years. I think it would be more than 120 though, and maybe more than 130. So those are the messages I got. I think that's very optimistic knowing this guy.
Asim,
Yes.
I promised myself, and I made a promise to you three,
Oh, here we go. Is a bomber coming?
Here we go.
that
can't resist.
I wanted to get away from the Bomber ITK stuff. But I
Okay,
think
okay, wait, wait,
it's
wait.
only
Have you-
right.
did they
It's
reel
only
you in?
right.
You know, did they reel you in?
You know
It's
what?
only right.
He's fuming. He's fuming that he's
I'm
not
only-
the top dog
I'm-
at the moment, so he
I'm-
needs to
I'm
come
only-
back with a bomber.
I'm dedicating this to Gene.
Why are you
And
dedicating?
I'm only coming out of retirement because of Gene. Yeah. Alexander Isak
Uh-huh.
will be a Liverpool player,
Mm.
and the initial fee will be 130 million plus performance add-ons. A deal is done in principle with Alexander Isak.
And is this based on opinion or based on information?
ITK chip is back.
Big Kev told him.
So how long were you retired for?
I'm coming out of retirement just for this 3 minutes. That's it. It's done. I'm telling you, it's done.
Oh yeah.
I'm telling you, it's done.
No, I want you to say Alexander Isak ho gaya.
Alexander Isak will be a Liverpool player before the Community Shield. He is a Liverpool player. It's done. 130 million plus add-ons.
And you know what? I agree with him.
How long do you think it's been done, Avi?
Ben, you can't ask those kind of questions. I'm telling you what I've just heard. And I said it before the show, and I didn't want to say it. And Ben, you were listening on to that when I said I don't want to say it out in
I
the
was,
open.
yeah. No,
But-
no, you
but
did.
it's
You didn't want to say
guys,
that.
guys, it's a done deal. I promise you, it's a done deal.
Okay,
Wow.
let me just clarify. Are you saying like it's already done? What
It's
I'm
agreed in
saying
principle.
is
Newcastle and
we'll
Liverpool
get there.
Liverpool and Newcastle have already agreed in principle a deal of 130 million plus performance add-ons for Alexander Isak.
So do you just think they'll just drop straight into 130, or it'll play out in the media with the backwards and forwards?
There won't be no haggling. Liverpool know that Newcastle are adamant of what they want, and we've been there before with Newcastle. They've named their price. We're gonna meet that price plus the add-ons.
So it'll just be a straight bang done.
Straight, yeah. They'll just come out and say we've agreed a deal. It won't be like Leverkusen saying we're still going through the structures, the payment structures. No, this deal is done.
When do you think it comes out, Avi? Just in your opinion?
Give it within 5-7 days.
Really? Working days?
No, you got to have the weekend off, isn't it? Starting from Monday.
I'm already kidding.
Starting from Monday, start counting.
Jean,
Wow.
you look like you just seen a
And
ghost.
anyone that has this doubt, we have a video clip that we will show once it's done of how far along I've been saying this. And that's why I've not been talking about any other player. I've not heard anything. I'm not going to pretend and say I heard about, Frimpong and all this and all that. We had a show at the last day of the transfer window. I'm not going to tell you guys which date, but I think February 1st it was, we did a show. And the last name I dropped on that show was Alexander Isak. And these boys were on that show too.
That I can agree with. The Avi on that show, when I remember it because we closed the show and we said who, and you said I've got one name, Alexander Isak. And I will give you flowers, Avi. I will always said when you get something right, I will give you flowers. You did mention it to us in early Feb, 31st. I think it was the 1st of Feb. Actually, but you have effed up a few times with a few names that you gave us in the past. I'm going to be open and honest, so I have to sort of take what you take with a pinch of salt. But generally speaking, you are quite good. I'll say how it is. Heto Hogia was your, you got hit for 6, but this one you did mention in February, and it's the way you did it as well that I have to accept that you did say it. But in terms of deal already been fully agreed for Alexander Isak right now,
Is there not something to be said if they don't get players over the line? Is that not a problem?
They will get the players over the line, Ben, because they've got 130 plus million bags to play with. It's impossible for them not to get players over the line. Impossible
now, isn't it? Probably to play with what they had at the start of the window. Plus,
yeah, so they've got a lot of money now to play with.
What did you say? You agreed with Avi?
I agree with Avi that this will get done.
Oh no, yeah, but Avi's saying it's already done.
Oh no, I don't believe it's completely done. No. In terms of the agreements with Isak, yes, I can accept. They will have sorted that out between them, before they even approached him. That's a minor thing. I think the fee, I still think there's some work to do.
Everyone's talking about 150, aren't they? Not a penny left.
There's nothing with the fee to be done because Newcastle have outlined what they want. Gene, we've met their price. We'll see how it rolls out in the next 7 days.
Yeah, look, I'm not saying it's difficult.
As of Monday, Asim, get a countdown clock. As of Monday, we're counting down the clock to these signs.
Yeah. And they'll never admit it, but I think it probably is the right way to go. I've heard so many different accounts over the last few days saying, how could we possibly, improve? How can we possibly, enter into the traditional top 6 if we sell our star player? But it's like, and they're crying about PSR, saying that we're hamstrung by PSR. They sold Andy Cole 20 odd years ago to Man United. It's like, it's just the way that football works. Sometimes you have to take one step back to take 2 steps forward. And we're not saying this, on some big pedestal, because we've literally done the exact same thing in the fact that
my thing, Ben.
We could not keep Suarez because he'd outgrown us at that stage of our development as a club. He was too good for us. Coutinho was too good for us, wanted to go to his dream club, and we did what we did. And we went and signed a Southampton centre-back who at the time everybody said, what a load of money that's been wasted on, etc., etc., etc. Newcastle have got a lot to answer for in this situation, in that this summer they've gone for targets that are Premier League proven. They haven't gone and recruited unknowns again, like they've done in the past, that have proved to be really, really top players. And that's what you've got to do. You've got to recruit these top players that other teams aren't, in the market for. And then when one of them absolutely clicks, then if you need to sell him to be able to go again, that's the way to do it. Newcastle need to get 2 or 3 forwards in this summer, another midfielder, another centre-back, a keeper, get back into the top 5, get that the magic of 2 years back-to-back Champions League, and they can go again. And it's just the way that the football cycle works. That's, it is what it is.
I can just elaborate on Newcastle as well, what they might do. I know Sesko is hot on their heels. They're also looking at Guirassy and Patrick Schick from Germany too. So I know Schick's at Leverkusen and Guirassy just had a really great season at Dortmund, but he is 29-30, but he's come off a great season. But Guirassy and Schick are other options as well that they're looking at.
Look, Newcastle, Ben, what you mentioned about this happening to Liverpool, the Coutinho deal is living proof what we had to go through. We were on the cusp of something unbelievable. Coutinho, Mane, Salah, and Firmino in their prime. That was going to be our midfield. We were ready to go on an onslaught. We had to sell one of our the best player in our team. Coutinho was the best player in our team then. We had to sell him for £130 million. And then because of that, that's what elevated us to the next sort of level. We didn't go and sign players for £60-70 million like Newcastle have. The likes of Tonali and Isak. We were spending £35 million for Sadio Mane, £38 million for Mohamed Salah, £27 million for Firmino. We bought really well. We had to do this.
And that's how you got to do it.
This is how we did it. Okay, granted, you've got a load of money that you can't spend, but we've proven how to do it and how to do it right. And we did it. We've proved it. And now we're back on the top of world football, British football. Just because we're showing our strength this summer, we're showing strength this summer because of what we haven't done over the last 4 windows. We've got all this money stacked up to go hard because we have the right to go hard. We've won the Premier League. We've saved all our coin. We were not stupid and went and blown money on players when we didn't really have to, even though we wanted us to blow it. I was one of them saying, so throw 100 million at Adam Morton. I'll openly admit it was my fault saying, go and splash the cash. But
absolutely.
Our board were clever. They were shrewd businessmen. They understood what was needed to do, what needed to happen, and how to go about it, and they conducted it to the T so far.
Absolutely,
so that's
100%.
how it works. And this is how Liverpool have gone about their business. How you go about your business is up to you. You go and crack on and do what you need to do. But where we conducted ourselves perfectly fine and perfectly well.
I saw the net spend table today that said that West Ham have spent more money than us over the last 5 years.
And I think most clubs have. To be honest, I think most clubs have.
So I've got no embarrassment whatsoever sat here saying that we're absolutely smashing it out the park this summer because I feel completely comfortable in saying that we've done this the right way. We've grown our revenue streams. We've done this amazing kit deal with Adidas, etc., etc., etc. Our commercial off the field activities are at the top of the table now, and now we're just expressing it on the pitch and in the transfer market for the first time ever, really, in Premier League history. It's just, Chelsea have spent $1 billion or something in the last 2.5 windows, and they're only just a Champions League team at the moment. I know they just won the Club World Cup, but they're not. Well, you wouldn't say that they were one of favourites for the Prem. So there's the money that's being spent is astronomical. I think we've just, as I say, just been really smart. I was just going to change tack though slightly, Asim. Sorry, I'm not taking your steam, but we're talking about Isak. If we do, if Avi's bomber does come to fruition and it's done and dusted.
When it comes to fruition, not if.
When, sorry. I need to learn how this works, don't I? Can we just maybe just have a bit of fun and name our assuming everyone's fit and everyone's no injuries, what's our Champions League 11?
Champions League 11.
Champions League final 11. Sorry. In other words, our best 11.
Bradley, Konate, Van Dijk, Kirkes, Gravenberg, McAllister, Wirtz, Isak, Salah, Gakpo.
Gakpo in your first 11?
Ahead of Ekitike. if Diaz leaves.
Interesting.
Same as Asim. Love that you said Bradley. Love it.
I love that he said Bradley as well. I think Bradley's going to explode this year. I really do.
He looks as if he's filled out a little bit as well.
It does.
But I'd have Szoboszlai instead of Gakpo, and I'd play Wirtz in the left of the front three.
Well, you can't play him there because if you've got Isak, Dylan.
That would be my Champions League front three. It would be
without Isak.
Asim, what about if we're playing? No,
Wirtz, Isak, Salah.
Oh, you play
Let's go
Wirtz
with the left.
Oh, okay.
Wirtz off the left, yeah.
Okay.
I'm with
Asim, if that's against
I'm going Ekatike Isak, mate.
Really?
Ekatike can play from the left, mate.
Ekatike.
Wow, he's doing a Jake.
I'm dropping Salah.
Ekatike Isak Salah, mate. You're doing what?
What were you going to say then, Avi?
You were going to Salah. Putter, don't come. I'll drop you from the channel right now.
He's playing Harvey Elliott there.
I just think Szoboszlai's got to play because of his energy and his weight rate and his.
Asim, against PSG, what Ben's saying, does that make more sense against a PSG? Szoboszlai, Wirtz in the same team with the
why against PSG?
Because of the legs, runners, the pressing, the control that PSG were known to, accustomed to, the Ruiz, Vitinha, and Neves.
No, not really.
Overpack that midfield area.
I get what Ben is saying. I get what Ben is saying, but no.
Could it be a 4?
So play our way. So you're happy playing it our way.
I can understand that a bit more away from home.
Okay.
I can understand that. The best sides against PSG last season, the Arsenals who had a good period, Aston Villa who had a good period, we had a good period. All those sides didn't have an inverted winger against them. They put it on him. And that's the best way to go. You have to put it on Vitinha and physicality and do a bit of a Klopp against him where it hits him. You have to blitz him. And if you try to start playing football with them, they'll just pass it around you.
You have to. I agree. It's Avi. You have to play roller football and talla them and go for them. If you don't go for them, they're gonna talla you. You have to go all full in, all throttle. And honestly, I'm not joking. When I mentioned Ekatike and Isak, I genuinely believe that will be our best side. If we don't sign a winger, very quickly, I think Ekatike is going to be in the team because I rate him, man. I think his goals, mate. If Gakpo can do that role and improve his work rate and all that type of stuff, I believe Ekatike can do the same.
I think
Ekatike is a really good presser. I'll give you that, Shane.
No, but exactly. So what's the difference?
I think we're going to see.
The difference is I don't think he's a touchline winger. I don't think
I can accept that.
I don't think he can hold the position.
I don't think we need it.
Huh?
I don't think if Ekatike starts, I don't think we really need a touchline winger as much now as him.
Guys, I think
why?
Because of Kirkes.
But you have to see from what we've seen at the moment, and we just have to go by training. I saw 5 minutes of it. The build-up wasn't with Kirkes on the halfway line. The build-up was with Kirkes with part of the 3.
He was granted, but that's obviously
and against Preston as well, Stoke. Sorry.
Yeah, true. Let's see. I want to see where Ekatike starts in the next few training sessions. Yeah, or in the next few games. I want to see where it starts because I've just get this feeling he might play closer to Isak if we sign Isak.
Just putting it out there early on.
Coming from the right, left hand side.
Early doors. I think Gakpo's going to have another good season. I'm actually excited now with Gakpo. 26, last season, very good season. I know he came back from injury towards the back end and he couldn't get going, but I really think once the season starts, I think we'll get a similar or if not a better goal return. I'm talking 20 goals in all competitions this season.
The best thing about Cody Gakpo is when the attention is on our star players, he knows when to pop up in the right positions.
He does.
So are we saying if Diaz leaves, no Rodrigo, no Fofana?
No, we still might bring Fofana, but he doesn't start, does he? Ben?
The caveat with my team is that you say Wirtz in the front, left of the front 3 could easily be Szoboszlai because
He can
he
do
does
that as
play
well, yeah.
left for Hungary, doesn't he? He would link up naturally with Kirkes down the left-hand side, which I think would
But
be
it just doesn't
interesting.
seem fluid
And he
enough for
presses
me.
really hard. No,
Having
I
a Wirtz
agree.
or
I
Szoboszlai,
don't.
it's not
We
the
haven't actually
fluidity what
seen
we
it yet.
want. Yeah.
Yeah,
I tell
but he
you
does
what
press.
works. I tell you, if I play Wirtz on the left-hand side, and don't be surprised when you do see Wirtz on the left-hand side on occasions on paper, whether it's down to rotation or injuries, is Curtis Jones is going to play left-sided midfield or Szoboszlai.
He did that
Why?
in the club. He did that in the club too.
Why? Is because then you've got someone who can hold width in situations. When you've got McAllister, who hasn't got the legs, who likes to receive from defenders and be a Cruz and Thiago, and then you have the inverted winger, it puts too much emphasis on the left back to be on the halfway line and be the attacker. So you've got McAllister on the inside, on the inverted winger on the inside. It doesn't work for me. It's too much responsibility on the left back, especially if Slot likes to stay and go for the left back. Go on the other side. If Salah tucks in and Bradley tucks in and Frimpong tucks in, you've got Szoboszlai to situationally hold width because he can do that.
Yeah.
So it's a lot easier. So when you do see Wirtz on paper on the left-hand side, I'm just predicting you might see Curtis Jones or even Szoboszlai playing left-sided midfield.
Interesting.
Asim super chats now.
Okay.
Some members are looking for WhatsApp links. I don't know what they're looking for, but some people are saying we haven't got WhatsApp links to the group.
The BNR Ultra is linked to the chat. I got a screenshot of it just before we went live.
Can
Correct?
you read the comments and start?
Slot Talks. I thought he was a member already, but I don't know. He's
Angie.
probably got another account. Thank you so much. Slot is talking. Slot is talking. Slot will be talking. And we've got Slot talking in the chat as well. Thank you so much for becoming a BNR Ultra. Ray K or Rai K?
Rai K.
Okay. I thought I'd check with the big man.
His head's gone now.
Rai K has become a member. Thank you so much. All of you just message me on Twitter and we'll send you the link. Thomas Aldrian has become a member and has sent us a super chat tonight. Thank you so much, Thomas. Big up. Where do you think Darwin will end up? Seems all the unknown clubs are just tracking and considering him when none is actually moving. Reasons. Hold your thoughts there. Let me just go through some of the super chats as well. KK, thank you so much for sending this through. Isak done his part. Now we got to do ours. Mark Foster, Champions League final. Gene, do I have permission to go?
Champions League final, Becker. Carry on.
Champions League final, Becker, Frimpong, Kanate. Oh, he's given us the 11. Wait, let me work this out. Becker, Frimpong, Kanate, Van Dijk, Kirkes, Gravenberch, McAllister, Wirtz in the 10, Hugo, Isak, and Salah. Wow, he's gone Hugo and Isak interchanging positions. 4-0 versus win whoever it's against up the Reds. Thank you so much, Mark, for sending this through. George D, still waiting for WhatsApp link.
George, good old George.
George, have you messaged me on Twitter? If you just do that now, I'll send you it straight away, mate.
Asim needs a PA.
I do believe. Jack Tipple, thank you so much for sending this through, mate. Dom left winger. Kirkes link up, Wirtz still the number 10. Wow.
That's what I was
we
thinking,
we will see this, whether it'll be forced or by design. But I think Szoboszlai will still be, central because he does like him jumping on the press. He does like him. He likes that intensity, and he's probably one of the
start the season in as a 6, isn't he? Because Macca's not fit and Gravenberch's just suspended, so I think he's going to have to.
Yeah, we could see that. Okay. Why is admin sending people our email?
Jesus Christ, who's running this shit show, yaar?
It's only an email address here. Bloody hell, you haven't even sent his telephone number out. Relax, Avi, man. It's just a bloody email address.
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay. Yeah. Whoever's not on Twitter and who can't send messages to Asim, there's an email address there. And if you become a member, send us an email and we'll send you a link.
No doubt, Junior, mate.
Ali, make sure you let us know what your GCSE results are. We'll send you a little gift if you pass them.
Avi retired. Avi, do you want to read this?
It's Ali, yaar.
Big up,
That's
Ali.
his
Big up,
He's
Ali.
not. He's not on my level yet. Just read it. Hurry up.
Ali, thank you so much for the super chat. Avi retired. Don't do this, bro. Shaq Khan.
I will read this one. Praj, these my Praji. Love and respect to you, all my brothers. Hanji,
Let me
Praji.
send the super chat.
Who's Abu? Who wrote this, man? I
Oh,
can't even get my name right. Like, who are these people?
Abu, Abu, brush your
Abu.
teeth next time. Yeah, go on, admin. I think it's Junior today. Junior must have gone for you,
Avi,
guaranteed.
I just need to do a couple of things. You just hold the fort, yeah?
I've got to go and play pickleball right now. That's why I said wrap up.
5
Yeah,
minutes.
just
I
do
just
that.
need to do something.
Tomorrow, are we all? Well, you guys are right. Tomorrow it's midday for you guys. The game is going to be at 4:30 in the morning for me. So I'm going to make sure that it's a sober Friday trade. But what are you looking forward to tomorrow, Ben? Just seeing the whole team play. Loads of rotation tomorrow. Good work.
There's only one thing I'm looking forward to tomorrow, Avi, and
Well,
that's seeing Florian Wirtz.
yeah, I thought it's
He's
much.
the
I
man.
Cannot
mate.
wait. Honestly,
Yeah.
I'm like a schoolboy on Christmas Eve. Oh man, it sounds daft to say, like, because we're all grown adults here, but just seeing Florian Wirtz in a red shirt, it's gonna be amazing. They'll be in the away kit now. You watch, but yeah, no, I can't wait to see him. I just think he's the little clips that we've seen in training so far. He just looks magic. He's just got an extra couple of seconds on the ball. There's one I saw halfway through the session where we were on the break and he's pushing forward and the obvious ball was just out to the left, and then he just dropped his shoulder and slotted it right through the middle to Diaz. And you just think to yourself, you watch games so often from like the stands or from the TV, and you just see a player where you think there's the right pass, there's the right opportunity. Funnily enough, Nunez had a couple of times as well where it was like the obvious pass or the ball was out wide to the right, and then he turns and has a shot. And I think to myself, Wirtz's vision and ability on the ball is just going to take us to a different level in that final third. Yeah, and I just can't wait to see him.
Keen, I'd ask you.
Avi, quick one, Avi.
I'd ask you which Liverpool player you want to watch, but you'll be watching more of a Rafael Leao, won't you, tomorrow for Milan?
Yeah, look, Avi, he's a good player, but tomorrow is Florian Wirtz day, man. Come on, I called Florian Wirtz a long time ago. By the way, you know how much I love that player.
Did,
yeah?
Gene?
So I did. So no comment. You might have called the Isak one, but Florian Wirtz I called a long time ago. I can't wait to see the kid. Honestly, Avi, I've been watching all the training sessions from wherever they've come on, speaking to the guys. Some people that are out there, obviously they get a little bit more access. And honestly, from what we've been told, he's a bit of a gem of a player. I just need that guy to hit the floor running straight away. I love the player. I think he's gonna bang and he's gonna give us something that we've not seen at Anfield, because we've never really had a proper 10 since Steven Gerrard in that Torres year when he played in that 10. So, and when you have a proper 10, you always have a proper affiliation with that 10, because he's magic. He's the game changer. He's the one who makes it all happen. So I can't wait to watch him play. But Avi, coming back to you, and obviously the super chat, and before we obviously forget, where do you think Darwin will end up? Seems all the known clubs are just tracking and considering him, but none is actually moving. Reasons?
You know where I think he could do well?
Newcastle.
Is a club like Spurs. Thomas Frank gets hold of like a Darwin Nunez. I think he could do really well there. I know Solanke's there, but Solanke's 29 and he got injured a few times last season. I think someone like Darwin under a Thomas Frank system, I think he could do really well under a manager like that. So that's
Say it quietly, but he's looked sharp as a whistle so far in training.
Yes,
he's looked really good.
I think he'd suit Newcastle down to the T.
Yeah, and they'll back him too. The fans would definitely start supporting him and getting behind him.
He looks
straight away.
James's Park as well.
Why do you think he would suit someone like Brentford?
He's not. Thomas Frank is at Spurs now.
I know. No, sorry, thingy. Yeah, Spurs. Why? And do you see Thomas Frank playing?
I think what Thomas Frank has done with
3-5-2 or 5-3-2 at Spurs.
I think the work that Frank has done with like Wissa, Ivan Toney, he gets a tune out of his forwards and he believes in them. And I think Darwin Nunez, sometimes it's just that arm around the shoulder. And I know Jurgen gave it to him as well, gave him that kind of similar support and aggression, and they tried to bring out the passion in him. But I just think Thomas Frank is a calm influence as well, Asim. I think he could do well. He could definitely do a club at a Premier League level, and I think the pressure at Liverpool is so high. You nip it down
Yeah.
a little bit to like a Spurs West Ham level at the
Yeah.
moment, and Spurs are obviously a little bit ahead of West Ham, but
Mm.
like that kind of level, top 6, top 8 club, I think he could do very well.
I think the pressure's a great point. I think if you're building a team around him and the pressure's less, he's just a more relaxed character in general because he just lets so much get to him. Yeah, I totally agree. But I think my gut feeling is that I still think he'll probably end up at Saudi.
Guys,
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go,
Wow.
but
Okay.
we'll catch up on Sunday. Hopefully,
Take
it's a
care,
good,
Abby.
good day tomorrow, and we'll get to watch the
Take care,
players,
Abby. See you later.
and we'll catch up later on. Thank you.
Take care.
How do I end the stream?
Don't end the stream. I'll kick
Oh,
flipping
sorry.
drilla you.
Sorry.
He's done
You
it.
just
before.
go.
Yeah, you.
Just leave.
He's pulling your chain.
You know he's done it before a couple of times. He just.
Has he
What are you
been?
doing here?
Oh, what's he
Honestly,
playing at
this
here?
guy. He's the guy's an idiot.
Far
you know.
too close that for a Friday night's flipping Nora. I've not got no makeup on.
But you know, Ben, I was going to come to you before we go. Is we
Darwin
were on
was
the
perfect.
topic of
bro.
Darwin. He was linked. There's a Paul Joyce in his article mentioned a team that we've not heard. Al Ahly. First time I've heard that they're in for him. Regarding him and Saudi, that they're considering making a move for him. I think the Saudi link is becoming. You know,
More
he
and
didn't
more.
get his move to Napoli. There was murmurings about Juve. That doesn't seem like it's going to be materializing anytime soon.
Yeah. Seems
No,
very relaxed situation though, doesn't it? And I just think, they obviously want to sell him, but it feels as though it's pretty relaxed. I almost feel as though they've said to him, right, okay, you're going to go, blah, blah, blah. And his team have said, right, we'll try and find a European club. We'll try and stay in the Champions League. But if not, then we've got this offer in the back pocket from Saudi, and that'll just be the last shout. But just quickly going back to Vert, though, I was going to put it to the chat, actually. I don't know if anyone saw the clip where... they do the behind the scenes clips where and it was a dead funny one where one of the players goes and asks another one of the players a question, and then they ask another question, blah blah blah, and it got to Wirtz and Frimpong, and I think it was Canate or something. He was like, "How many goals are you going to score in your first season?" And they were like, "Oh, that's so out of order. You can't ask him that." And Florian was like, "No, it's fine. I'll answer the question," but he cut the answer. They didn't actually put the answer in. So just interested, put it in the chat, people. What do you reckon his answer was? I'm going to say, or actually, no, let's just see what everyone said. Vert, yeah.
I
But
think
we'll go GA. We'll go
Wirtz-
GA. What he said. What do you think he
just
said?
the Premier League? Just the Premier League, or
Well, the question was just how many goals you think you'll score this season. So yeah, for argument's sake, let's go Prem. So what do you think he said? Because he said he answered it, but they cut it obviously for to not put any pressure on him. But I reckon he must have said something quite big if they did cut it. I reckon he said 20, like goals and assists.
I think
that's realistic.
I think he'll get that.
I think that's
will get that.
25, 23, 25,
Wow.
big numbers.
Big
12.
numbers.
Bloody hell, is he been injured all season? Oh.
No, I to be honest with you, I wouldn't be surprised.
goals only, didn't they? So I think he's gone for 12 goals.
Goals, yeah, fair enough. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, goals.
I
But
think
goals.
he will get. I think he'll get 25 GA in all competitions,
That'd do me.
and that would be an unbelievable first season.
It would.
25.
Gonna have to save a few for Mo.
He'll get 80.
You want it to balance, though, don't you? You want it to balance. But it's dead interesting, though, isn't it? As to whether or not last season, a lot of games we won it by one goal or two, the odd goal, and we took the foot off the gas. Are we going to go for the jugular a little bit more this season so that we can come off it? If we're 2-3 up, maybe again in some games, then we can rest players and change players. So the dynamics of how games are going to go is really interesting. Can't wait.
The guy that's put up 2 goals and 40 assists. Yeah, I was gonna say he's gonna get more assists than goals this season.
Yeah.
He's gonna get what?
He's gonna get more assists than goals.
With Wirtz, you mean?
Yeah. I
could
think
probably
especially
see
you play
that.
Salah and thing under Isak, I think this guy's gonna put him on a play for him.
Slot Talks is all in there. 64 goals and 28 assists. He's had the bevy.
Okay. Tiga, shall we call it a wrap, boys? But before you go, we're gonna direct you to Hussam. You know who Hussam is, and he just messaged me. Make sure you bloody remind him. So you know what? There's 823 people here. When this stream ends, you're gonna get directed to Hussam's channel. Make sure all you need to do is just smash and raid that comment section with a BNR raid and let him know that you're all in the chat. So go head over. I don't know who he's got live, but even if he's alone, he can carry a conversation, can't he? He'll be smoking away, puffing away, and talking to Isak, I'm sure. So head over to Sam's channel Friday night. He's always live at this hour. So go show him some support and just whack a BNR raid in his chat. We've just got
Great
a
show,
late
Jack.
Fergie time super chat. Jack Tipple scored 2+ goals in over 30 Premier League games last season. Who's this?
I don't know who he's on about, but we've read it.
It might be Darwin. You never know. How
Yeah,
many did
true.
Darwin get?
I can't remember.
About
Scored
3, 4
2+
max.
goals in over 30.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah, no, I think it probably is Darwin,
guys.
you know, to be honest. Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically saying that no
Shows.
one's going to be having taking a chance on him in the Prem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jack Tipple, I think, sent this as well. Jones, Dom, and Verts midfield against
Makes sense.
Bournemouth. Okay.
I think he'd do well for Everton, but that's
But
another
where's
conversation.
he's just taken out McAllister.
'Cause he
Maybe
doesn't
because
think
of
he's gonna be
injuries.
ready.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay, sorted. People, thank you so much. Head over to Hussam's channel. Go raid his comment section. And then just before you do that, just smash a like and subscribe to our channel. We're on the way to 20,000 followers. And honestly, especially in the last 2-3 weeks, the support and love that you guys have shown us has been unbelievable. So keep that up and we'll keep the content up. That is the deal of the summer. And we shall catch you on the next one. We normally take a Saturday off, but you never know with Liverpool. Liverpool are moving, and Liverpool are moving really fast. Okay, take care, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye for now.